Hey everyone, Chris McGinnis here. I want to start off first by quickly apologizing if I'm a little hard to hear or hard to understand, and if I drink too frequently. I'm actually trying to get over a cold that I've been fighting for the past week. So again, I apologize in advance for that. So anyway, on to the point of this video. I was initially thinking of just saving this for the movie science segment on the next episode of the podcast, but then I thought, no, since it's fresh in my mind, let's do it right now. So, not too long ago, I finished watching the film version of Xanadu, the 1980 movie starring Olivia Newton-John and Gene Kelly. That was the source material for the 2007 Broadway musical, which was recently performed at York Little Theater, which I had seen a few times during its run, and I really enjoyed. And so, having seen the film and enjoyed it, I thought, well, I've heard bad things about the movie, nothing but bad things about the movie for the most part, but I'm still kind of curious as to how the source material actually is. So I decided, alright, I'll watch it, and I didn't think it was that bad. It's not the best movie I've ever seen, don't get me wrong. It's, I'm not going to go so far as to say it's a good movie. But it's also not the worst movie I've ever seen either, okay? It's a lot better than The Room. It's a lot better than Birdemic, Shock and Terror. Of course, then again, Xanadu had something that those two movies really didn't have, and that was a budget. Of course, again, it's also not the worst movie I've ever seen with a budget either. There's plenty more, movies that actually had budgets which I thought were worse than this movie. I'm not going to go so far as to say I liked the movie, I'm just going to say I didn't hate the movie. Like, it's one of those movies I wouldn't mind watching again with a group of people, and if, as we're watching it, we just riff and joke and make fun of the movie while we're watching it. It's definitely one of those kind of movies, but to watch it by myself again, doubtful. I don't think I'll be doing that. To compare the film to the stage adaptation, I definitely like the stage adaptation a whole lot more, especially in terms of story. The fact that it really didn't seem to be very much of a plot in the film, whereas for the stage adaptation, we actually had the main plot of Kira coming down to Earth to inspire Sunny to open the greatest meeting of the arts known to the world, roller disco. And there was a subplot in there where two of Kira's jealous muse sisters, Melpomene and Calliope, not happy with the fact that Kira, or as she is known in muse form, Clio, has received the favoritism that she's received from Zeus. They decide to place a curse on Kira and Sunny so that they fall in love, since a muse falling in love with a mortal is strictly forbidden by Zeus, and if Kira breaks this rule, she will be put to death. So, you have that subplot in the stage version, not in the film. Excuse me. Just taking that into consideration, I thought the stage adaptation was the better version. I did some live tweet commentary on Twitter while I was watching the movie, so I'm going to, consult it and just expand on a few points in there. Just let me get my phone going here. There we go. Okay, yeah, before going into watching the movie, I said I was going to have a running tally of how many times throughout the film I would ask, what the hell? And by the end of the movie, the final tally was 44. Which is kind of surprising since after only a half hour into the film, I'd only uttered what the hell 3 times. So the fact that the count blew up exponentially within the hour that followed that, I guess that's kind of a testament to what I found strange about the film. The movie was about 90 minutes long, so theoretically that's like once every 2 minutes I would ask, what the hell? Alright, so let's see. Okay. During the musical number for the song Suddenly, Kira and Sunny sneak into a recording studio, and apparently there's some sort of equipment there that makes all sorts of scenery pop up. I guess while bands are recording their music, Sunny says it's for inspiration or whatever, and just like various like scenes pop up, like a city rooftop, a beach, they were out in the rain, with umbrellas magically floating down from the ceiling. At one point they're sitting on a bench and there's a train coming towards them. And as the train gets closer, I swear to you, the front of the engine reminded me of a Dalek from Doctor Who. It had like it had a huge light. It was cylindrical, had a huge light that seemed to stick out at the top, and the moment it happened, I honestly said, "It's a Dalek! Exterminate!" Hoping it would become a wholly different movie, but not so much, no. Oh well, can't blame a guy for dreaming, right? Oh. The animated sequence in the movie. Alright, so about the hour, just shortly before the hour mark into the film, Sunny and Kira realize that they're in love with each other, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Don Bluth steps in and takes us into an animated sequence for the song Don't Walk Away, during which time Sunny and Kira turn into fish and birds at different points. That 3 minutes added at least a good 6 or 7 what the hells to my ongoing tally. Just the fact that it was completely out of nowhere, and I'm still trying to figure out how the context of that was how it was relevant to that point in the movie. I mean, in the stage adaptation, the song comes at the point where Sunny and Kira realize that they are falling in love, but Kira realizes that this is not a good thing, since she knows the penalty for falling in love with a mortal is death, and so she tries to tell Sunny that she has to leave him forever and can't fully explain why, because it's also forbidden to reveal to a mortal that you are a muse. And so the song comes as a plea from Sunny to Kira to not walk away from him and everything that they've been through at this point. But this out of nowhere animated sequence in the movie, I don't know. I'm still trying to. Actually, no, I'm not still trying to figure it out. I stopped trying to figure it out the moment it stopped, and just like, all right, moving on. Excuse me. Let's see. To touch briefly again on the music, like easily my two favorite songs from Xanadu are "I'm Alive" and "The Fall." And I have to admit, I really didn't like The Fall at first. And this was way before I ever saw the stage adaptation, because it was one of those songs that played on the in-store music system at Wise fairly frequently when I worked there. And, depending on how often you work at someplace and how long you work on those days, it's not uncommon to hear the same song, 3, 4, maybe 5 times a week. And, let's be honest, that gets old after a while. But, after hearing the Broadway arrangement of it, and, hearing it performed by someone, other than ELO, and, nothing against the Electric Light Orchestra, but, hearing someone else sing it, it kind of refreshed it in my memory and gave it a whole new context, if you will. So I was like, okay, you know what? I don't really mind this song so much anymore. I actually think it's pretty good. But I have to admit, it was a little jarring that the song starts up in the movie, and then here we see Sunny skating towards us in unbelievably short shorts. Kinda disturbing. Let's see. Next point. Excuse me. At the end of the fall, Sunny is desperate to try and find Kira after she had told him that she was a muse and she had to leave him. And he finds the mural where she first came from and decides to skate into the mural to try and find her. And instead of crashing into the wall and breaking every bone in his body, as should logically happen, he goes through the mural and, well, it looked like he ended up in the world of Tron. It was a stark black area, except for a few yellow laser line things that lined the floor, and he was surrounded by some kind of electronic swirling force fields. And he gets into an argument with I guess, for lack of a better term, Zeus. Even though the heavenly male voice, as it was described in the credits, says that, they don't use the old nomenclature anymore. He's eventually transported away out of the mural after trying to defy Zeus and say Kira was coming with him. He was transported out of the mural, and then Olivia Newton. Then it goes into the penultimate musical number, the ballad "Suspended in Time," which won the 1980 Golden Raspberry Award, or Razzie, for Worst Song from a Musical. Now, I don't know what other songs it was nominated up against, but I really don't think it's that much of a bad song. The scene it's in is actually pretty lousy, to be perfectly honest. It's really boring. It's Olivia Newton-John singing the song against a black background, and she's outlined in a yellowish-orange glowing aura. It's all pretty much just one shot of her standing there and singing. The camera, eventually, pulls in closer to her for a close-up for, it's sort of like what you're seeing like the view you have of me now, but yeah, it's just one shot of her singing the entire song, and the camera slowly pans in over time. So, I suppose if they, put it, if the merit was, the song and the context it has in the movie, okay, I can see that it saying, yeah, this is, the worst thing. But just judging by the song itself, I don't think it was that terrible. So not long after that, it finally gets to the big ending number, which is, of course, the title song, Xanadu. And the whole sequence is kind of odd in and of itself. We have people, roller skating and dancing, which was, not all that unexpected, since I knew it was coming. But at one point, we have two people on walking a tightrope. The guy walking the tightrope does a full split on the rope, which definitely made me go, what the hell? Actually, two what the hells, one for the tightropes, one for the split on the tightrope. And then, yeah. And there's a medley of all sorts of different musical genre performances, from, like, tap dancing to a punk rock performance to a country-ish performance to and then Olivia Newton-John walks in looking like some kind of space commander, and then she teleports out, and then one of the waitresses at the club kind of looks like her and serves a drink to Sonny, who says he wants to talk to her and get to know her, and then roll credits. So, yeah, all in all, Xanadu, like I said, not a great movie, but not the worst thing I've ever seen. If you're a fan of Olivia Newton-John or Electric Light Orchestra, no idea why that was so hard to say. If you're a fan of either of them, I'd say check the movie out. I mean, it's only 90 minutes long. It's mostly harmless, to steal a term from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And I'll be honest, there are worse things that you could spend 90 minutes watching, like The Room. But that's a whole other video from long ago where I ranted about that. So, anyway, like I said, that was my thoughts on Xanadu. I guess if I had to give it some kind of rating, I'd say 2 out of 5 stars. It's not horrible, but not fantastic. So, yeah, there you have it. Those are my thoughts. See you around.